Welcome to the third installment of the Timepiece Sessions. Today, we're answering the question, why do I work so much? Let me ask you this. Have you ever done any of these things? Tell yourself that, you know what, I'm just going to bang out a bunch of work this weekend and then I'll feel so much better, only to find yourself in a cycle of working nights and weekends, no matter how hard you try to get out of it. Fallen asleep on a date because you were just so tired you literally couldn't keep your eyes open. This happened to me. Told yourself that this is the year you're going to be better about time management. You're going to delegate more, you're going to take time off, you're going to exercise regularly. Then none of that happens. Or maybe it happens for a couple weeks, but then you go back to your old habits. You keep telling yourself you're going to hire someone, but there's just never a good time. You've tried reading self help books and listening to podcasts, and even though you feel better after you listen, you don't really change things all that much. You tell yourself you need to get everything done in your caseload to feel caught up, and that is just an impossibility. If you recognize yourself in any of these examples, you are overworking. And I have been there, my friend. And this is what I know was true for me and is true for 99% of the lawyers that I work with, is that when we overwork, it wasn't just because we had an objectively large caseload. There were a few things that led us to this place of overworking. It did not happen overnight. And here's a few things that I've noticed. Number one, saying yes when we should have said no because we wanted to make people happy. We wanted them to think good thoughts about us. Number two, staying late at the office so that the big bosses would see us working hard and would give us their approval and, say we were good, even though we really should have gone home hours ago. This was me too. Number three, not delegating because we were afraid to relinquish control over a matter and that no one else could get it done as well as we could do it. And even if the latter were true, it didn't always matter that it was done as well as we could do it, but we still wanted to do it anyway. Number four, not delegating because we told ourselves it would be faster if we did it ourselves, even if it meant staying up past our bedtime to do it. Number five, not communicating realistic timelines to people because we were afraid of what they would think about us, even though we knew taking that on would mean staying up late nights and maybe missing events with our family. In these moments, we are seeking validation, control, and approval. And in the moment, we believe we are doing the right thing. We are serving the client. But as the consequences start piling up, we begin to recognize the problems with this. Problems like overpromising and underdelivering. This looks like promising a client or your boss, you're going to have documents back in 2 weeks because that's what you think they want to hear. But having so many projects due in the meantime, you can't actually get those documents back to the client until more like 5 weeks. Resentment towards the people we work for. This looks like getting annoyed every time you get an email or a voicemail from someone. Then you avoid that email or voicemail, which means you have that email or your voicemail on your mind all the time. Or even worse, you forget about it and you create an unhappy client. You create inconsistent work product. This can look like literally having poor work product at times, but it can also look like you working 18-hour days for 4 days in a row and then not working at all for 3 or 4 days and then not getting to important matters because your brain is drained. So as I look back on it, overworking was really a form of self-sabotage. As long as I kept myself busy, I could completely disconnect with myself and my feelings. I could avoid my low self-esteem. I could drown out that voice telling me that I wasn't working hard enough or I couldn't cut it. I could avoid the shame I felt for not being further along in my career. As long as I kept myself busy, I could justify my failures by thinking that I was working as hard as I could and blame the work, the people, instead of looking at myself and taking responsibility for what I could in my practice. I could always put off everything because I could tell myself, well, when I get this done, then I'll do the workout plan. When I finally get a hold of my caseload, then I'll be able to take that trip. If I finally get my caseload in check, then I can finally do that thing I've been dreaming about. Does any of this resonate with you? To change I needed to stop distracting myself with work and finally face myself. I needed to build self-confidence so that I could say yes to what I wanted and no to things I didn't want. I needed to face the truth that no matter what other people might have thought about me, that the only person that I needed to be thinking about and caring about was me and what I wanted. This felt really foreign to me, not only because I'd built my life around caring what other people thought about me, but the socialization that we have received, especially as women. We've received that it is wrong to care about yourself, to think about yourself. You should be thinking about everybody else. And the way I controlled how other people thought about me was working hard. I was being manipulative, right? By this overworking. If I was working hard, then that meant I was successful, right? People saw me working hard. That meant I was successful or that I was morally sound, right? That I was doing all the right things, right? Very Protestant way of thinking. But that's the society that we're brought up in the US here for sure. And to keep overworking means continuing to stay disconnected from yourself and what you truly want. Maybe even what you were meant to do. That was definitely the case for me. It also means to never create the space you need to ask yourself what it is that you want and then give it to yourself. To never truly feel like you. Think about this. If we're lucky, we get to live to 90 years old. That's if we're lucky. And that's about 32,850 days. That's 32,850 days. And if you're listening to this, half of those days may be gone. Now, depending on how old you are, right, think about it. How do you want to live those remaining days? The work I do with lawyers is making you more you, making you the best version of yourself based on what you want and not what your brain might think other people need you to be. I have a brand new 12-week program called Timepiece for Lawyers, where you can do this work with me and a small group of like-minded lawyers. And when you join, you're going to get 15 calls with me where we are going to rewire your brain so you're not overworking and instead working intentionally, saying yes and no intentionally instead of reflexively. You're also going to get next level bonus trainings like how to raise and communicate your rates confidently, creating stellar SOPs for your employees to take the weight off of you, and how to hire your dream employees. Plus, you're going to get so many bonuses that I can't even list them all here. You will easily get back 10 times your investment in Timepiece for Lawyers. You can get all of the details, including the dates of our classes, at dinacataldo.com/timepiece. That's PEACE. Enrollment is going to close soon, so be sure to head over now. I am capping enrollment at 15 lawyers. So even whatever the enrollment page says about the enrollment date ending, as soon as I hit 15 lawyers, I'm going to shut it down. I really want to make sure that this is a space where you get all of the attention that you need and that you want. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you. You do not have to work so hard. I will show you how to get things done, to manage your brain, and how to create a life that you truly love.